You are listening to Radio Long Island City, recorded at our studios near Hell Gate, 9 kilometers north of the Harbor Hill Moraine. And now, the Observatory. The Observatory, Friday the 14th of August, 2026. It is 54 days after the summer solstice. It is 39 days before the autumnal equinox. In today's episode, Cow-Nose Rays, the end of World War II, a rainbow, Boy George, Steve Martin, and Navajo Code Talkers Day. Today's forecast, mostly sunny. High near 87 degrees Fahrenheit, 30.6 Celsius. Light and variable wind becoming west, 5 to 7 miles per hour in the morning. The sun rises today at 6:05 a.m. Solar noon takes place today at 1 p.m. The sun sets today at 7:55 p.m., civil twilight ends at 8:24 p.m., and nautical twilight ends at 9 p.m. The length of daytime today is 2 minutes, 21 seconds shorter than yesterday. The moon is in its waxing crescent phase and is 5% full at midday. The moon rises today at 8:12 a.m., and then it sets at 8:54 p.m. These are the predicted tides today for Horns Hook. In the morning, low tide, 5:54 a.m., minus 3 centimeters. In the afternoon, high tide, 12:25 p.m., 1 meter 71. In the evening, low tide, 6:14 p.m., 9 centimeters. In our shared realm of plants and animals, last week, the photographer Joanne Steidl captured an image of hundreds of cow-nosed rays swimming together off the south shore of Long Island near Southampton. She used a drone to take the picture from above. Cow-nosed rays have been known to visit our waters in the summertime, but they've never been documented in such numbers. Is it new technology that's revealed them? Were they always here, but we couldn't observe them before? Experts aren't sure. But we do know that warming seawaters have been luring them further and further up the eastern seaboard each summer. By the way, a group of rays is referred to as a fever of rays. Commemorations. On this day in 1592, the English sea captain John Davis made the first sighting of the Falkland Islands in the South Atlantic. The islands were uninhabited, although they may have been visited by natives from Patagonia in ancient times. Davis, commanding the ship the Desire, landed on the islands and took penguins to feed his crew. 100 years later, another English captain landed on the Falklands, recording the first detailed description of those islands. A somber anniversary. On this day in 1945, Emperor Hirohito made his famous broadcast to the Japanese people, announcing that World War II was at an end. It was unheard of for the emperor to address the people directly. His speech was recorded on a phonograph record and broadcast at noon, Japan time. The emperor spoke in highly formal, courtly Japanese, and his speech was written with indirect phrasing and euphemism. He never uttered the word surrender. As a result, ordinary people had trouble parsing what he had said, but the reality soon became clear. Japan had been defeated. World War II was over. On the same day in 1945, when the news of Japan's surrender reached New York, people poured into Times Square in a spirit of jubilation. That is when the photographer Alfred Eisenstadt took his famous picture of the sailor kissing the nurse. Eisenstadt said that he had spotted the sailor coming through the square, kissing every single woman he passed. When the photographer saw he was about to encounter the nurse, he waited. He said the contrast of her white uniform against the sailor's dark blue suit made a perfect shot. And yes, we know, it was a different time, so we're not sure you get to kiss strangers without asking, even on VJ Day. On this day in 1979, a rainbow appeared in the sky over North Wales that lasted for an astonishing 3 hours. It made a record. On this day in 2006, Boy George began his court-mandated community service, sweeping trash. The frontman for the Culture Club had falsely reported having his apartment robbed. When the police arrived, they found no burglars, but they did find 13 bags of cocaine. Boy George struck a plea deal, and for the next 5 days swept the streets of Manhattan. Today we wish a happy birthday to Steve Martin, born this day in 1945 in Waco, Texas. He made his start as a comedy writer for the Smothers Brothers Comedy Hour, and then he was a frequent host on Saturday Night Live before making all of those movies. We love his comedy albums Let's Get Small and A Wild and Crazy Guy, but we especially remember him for his song King Tut, celebrating the Tutankhamun mania that swept the city when the Tut show opened up at the Met. Happy birthday, Steve Martin. Finally, today is National Navajo Code Talkers Day, proclaimed by President Reagan in 1982. It honors the Native Americans who served in World War II and used their native languages to send messages Axis codebreakers could not decipher. In addition, Reagan honored members of the other tribes, the Choctaw, Chippewa, Creek, and Sioux, who used their languages as code talkers as well. Remember the Native Code Talkers today. And that is the Observatory, Friday the 14th of August, 2026.